Hello, my brothers. I want to thank everybody for voting and deciding that it's going to be Tsarina Yekaterina II that is going to be our leader. That's right, guys. We are playing as Russia here in the Imperial Splendour mod. I can't wait. I'm not really sure how I'm going to approach this. I know for sure that we need to get some actual trading posts in the Baltic Sea. That's number one, which means probably having to take out quite a few enemies here, specifically the Crimeans. But we also want to make sure that we get trading posts over here in the north, completely control the trading posts in the Baltic, I should say. And to do that, we're probably going to have to go to war with the Swedes. Now, I don't want to immediately jump to war with the Swedes, but as you can see, this is our closest army over here, led by Pyotr Alexandrovich Rumyantsev Zadunyansky. I think I got closer than a lot of non-Russian speakers would, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Let's take a look here at the city of St. Petersburg. Of course, Peter the Great would have wanted us to build this up instead of building up Moscow. And we do have an opportunity to get a drill school here, which would get us quite a few more actual soldiers, etc. But I think the idea now is probably to start increasing our land almost as soon as possible. And the one way I think we're going to be able to do that is to go for Crimea. Immediately go for Crimea. So I am going to start taking our troops from Moscow. I believe we had an army here, did we? Maybe not. If we don't have an army in Moscow, what we're going to do is we are going to bring Pyotr Alexandrovich down to the south. Now, he's going to have to cross some pretty cold areas, but it's going to be necessary. Another thing I'm going to do in this particular campaign, guys, is to avoid all of the movement back and forth that is common in a Total War game. I am going to be doing some editing here, so if you see certain jump cuts between turns or things like that, you'll understand why. Over here, I want to make sure that we get a general. It's going to be 1,422, but I think it's absolutely worth it. And I'm also going to try to open up our fur markets. I know that in the north, there are a number of different fur markets that we could potentially improve on. But we're going to need to actually unlock the fur exchange first. The fur exchange is extremely valuable right now. I don't think I even need to say that. I also want to get a commercial port, a trading port over here in St. Petersburg. Maybe just a good old-fashioned naval port would have been better so that we could use our ships in combat, but I'll accept that for now. And for the most part, we are just waiting for that army to head down to the south. Wish us luck, my friends. We've got plenty of ships prepared to carry on the fight, and it looks like we even have another army over here. You know what? These guys may be much better for heading into Crimea. Let's take a look. Oh, that's right, guys. I forgot about Dagestan over here. We've got to take Dagestan as well, so I'm actually going to head back to Don Voisko, and I'm going to take some of the units here from Moscow and start heading down to meet that army. Our men are not afraid of any Russian winters. Alright, next turn, and right away I see something that I want. That's going to be the fur trader. I know it's so expensive, guys, but 31 fur pelts produced each turn brings in a hell of a trade boost. So I'm definitely going to be doing that. We're also grabbing this army. We're going to make sure to merge them with this arriving group of actual units. And I'm hoping that this army is going to be sufficient to take on our enemies. It may or may not be, and we also need to get some more money to hire some additional units here. This is mostly a Kazakh area, so we've got some Kazakhi Lancers and some standard garrison infantry. Nothing special with the garrison infantry, but it is what it is. I'm also growing concerned. The Swedes are moving a lot here, but as long as they don't make a push for St. Petersburg, I will be happy. I guess we'll just keep heading south until we get to Crimea. That's really going to be, I think, our next focus. Of course, going into Poland, Lithuania is something we eventually want to do, but I don't think we want to do it right now. Then again, though, I'm starting to see this army, and I'm seeing all these potential targets to the west, and I think we've got to send the guy back to St. Petersburg. Let's let him get a full force, and then, of course, leave prepared. We'll allow our southern army to really take the task of conquering these neighboring areas. In fact, if he wanted to, he could go straight to Crimea from here. I just don't think that's the best idea. For now, I think we're finished. We'll hope for the best and end the turn here once again. Azerbaijan, Dagestan, there's so many territories here. Of course, going into Persia if we want to conquer the Persians, Or we could go west, guys, and go for Poland, Lithuania, and Kurland. I want you guys to let me know in the comments down below which you would prefer. You guys are my generals and my advisors during this entire campaign, so please feel free to make yourselves heard. Let's also take the scholar here. I want to try to find the closest college town. It's a bawdy house. There's not going to be any education. Well, certain forms of education going on in there, actually. We'll head to the church school for now. Obviously, our goal is to eventually get to a university. But that's going to take some time. Alright, once again, guys, we're going to edit this next part out and get to the next turn. Alright, we've got a new agent, Ivan Lepekin, in Muscovy. Over here in beautiful Moscow. We've actually got quite a few gentlemen here. So I definitely want to get them to the school, and not that kind of school. We need to get into a proper university. For now, I'm just going to move them out of the city so that we're aware of them. We're probably going to have to turn one of these into an actual university. That's for sure. Coaching in. Again, a coaching in. No, we're going to have to leave Moscow. I think maybe in St. Petersburg there could be hope for some universities. If I'm not mistaken, we can also go to other countries' universities. So for now, we're heading out with all of our agents from Moscow.
Can carry out spy missions.
And we'll eventually head to a center of learning. That's a focus we want. But I just saw a potential economic boost for us. Where was that? I did see a factory that could have been upgraded. Here we go, an iron minefield. Are you kidding, guys? This is extremely valuable. I'm going to go ahead and start building another one. We're going to grab that army over here. And you know what we could do is we could go to Ukraine and muster up some additional forces for the attack on Crimea. Or we could go straight for Dagestan right now. We've got to get the garrison forces, and we are going to start heading towards Ukraine. Let's grab a few of these units away from Ukraine. I don't want to take the whole army, but I'll take 2 line infantry. How about that? And the goal here is to merge these guys together and create an actual force that's going to be capable of taking on our enemies to the south. Now, as for over here at St. Petersburg, I'm still concerned. We have potential enemies to the northwest, to the north, and to the southwest over here. I'm almost tempted to go straight for Kurland and establish our claim right now. In fact, I've got my army on the move. I'm not promising that I'm going to go through with it, but I am moving some forces forward. We should have left 1 unit behind. Hopefully the people won't be too upset here in Moscow. Let's end the turn and see what happens. It has begun, guys. The Swedish have declared war on us. Unbelievable. We are joined by most of our allies, so this is definitely seen as an absolutely absurd war by most of the world here. We are, of course, going to immediately get our troops back to St. Petersburg and eventually go north to deal with the Swedes. I'm even going to grab my ship here. Let's take a look and see. Let's go to Abo, Finland. My Finnish subscribers aren't going to want to see aren't going to be happy seeing the Swedes there. But my goal here is to kind of see what they've got going over here and hopefully cut them off entirely. In fact, we're going to go to this trade route and immediately begin raiding it. If we have any ships nearby, I'll bring them to support this particular raid. But I think right now we're doing the right thing, just getting prepared for the Swedish attack. You know, this also suggests that the army that I was sending west, we may just end up continuing to go west to assist against Sweden, or maybe we take Crimea right now. The Crimean Khanate are currently allies. Of course, we're eventually going to want to change that, but for now I'm going to accept it. I'm going to accept this move. I'm also going to get some additional forces here for the army. We've got quite a few cavalry, but you know what? Let's get one more. And I'm going to get this Moscow bulk line infantry. Very, very nice line infantry there. We're just going to get a garrison battalion to stay behind and 1 to come with us. In fact, 2 to come with us. If the Swedes want war, we'll give them war. Might have a naval battle coming up here, and I'm not familiar with the naval battles in this particular game, so wish us luck. So as you can see, guys, there's almost an insatiable demand for furs. These pelts are traded for trinkets and manufactured goods, things like this. So getting that in Bashkiria is great. The problem is if the Crimeans rise up, or even if the Ottomans decide to get a little froggy here, they can go for that area and grab it very, very easily. So I've got a decision to make here, and I am thinking that I'm going to keep heading west, potentially hitting the enemy over here in, not in East Prussia, but in Poland. But more importantly is I want to send an army up here to the north, although I think this has to be like our great southern army here. The Crimean Khanate is currently our ally. One idea is to go and hit Dagestan and go down from there to Persia. But again, we're leaving this western side kind of open, so it's risky, but I'm going to do it. In fact, I'm even going to try to get my ship to help me. We might need to get to a port to make this happen. But nonetheless, I think the idea is to go for Crimea and to allow our northern army here at St. Petersburg to head into Sweden and begin attacking, guys. We need to show the Swedish that we will remain on the offensive if that's what we need to do. We're not going to back down. We're not going to retreat. I'm going to take all of our artillery with us. I am going to leave 2 guys behind to watch the city, although you know what we should do. We've got some men arriving anyway. Some much better reinforcements, honestly. And it's time we get a new general anyway, so let's go ahead and get another general to recruit. These new forces will go into that army. Let's give them some artillery. Let's give them some cavalry as well. And with this army, we are going to continue westward into Swedish territory. However, I want to grab those garrison units. They're still going to help us win a victory. And we're going straight for Abo, Finland. Eventually, we want to get to the capital of Stockholm, of course. That's going to be the main goal. But yeah, I think the best thing to do, and I could be wrong, is just keep those guys there. We're going to have to save up enough money to essentially tear down one of these. I think it's going to have to be the church school and rebuild it as an actual college. Of course, as you know, or those of you that don't, after the time of Peter the Great, Peter the Great was very into, for instance, he's very interested in bringing Western culture to Russia. And one of the ways he would bring Western culture is, of course, education. But as you can see, most of what we have are churches, Orthodox churches, the reason being that a lot of the more conservative classes in the country just want to keep everything really about God here, keep the people under the Orthodox faith, and that way they can control them. But we're going to change that. We're going to get our people educated, and we are going to attack the Swedes if need be. Here we go back to the pirate raiding here. We are going to be raiding that trade route, and let's hope that this leads to a victory. I really want to make sure we get that army built here in Moscow quickly. I would hate a Swedish sneak attack, but I hope that they'll be gentlemen and face us in the open battlefield. And now Norway has declared war on us under Olaf V, guys. So the Scandinavians are not very happy with us. That's obvious. We also just got a beautiful steam-pumped iron mine, which once again is going to keep on bringing in the cash. And we do have some workers on strike in Ingria. Hopefully we can put that down. We're still getting some additional forces. I'm even just going to get some line infantry just to really hold the area down. And let's keep heading west. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to hit the Swedish port here. I'm going to try to ruin any and all of their manufacturing. But wait a minute. What happened to our general? Did we lose a general? Did he die due to the cold? Oh my goodness. All right, well, we're going to try to get somebody out to that general as quickly, or out to that army as quickly as possible. I've never had that happen before, but it looks like we lost a general to the cold weather. All right. The rest of our forces seem to be fine. He may have just died of old age, honestly. Okay, we got lucky. We are heading over to Crimea. Now, Georgia's allied with us. They should allow us to drop right into their territory there on our great crusade to capture Dagestan. In the meantime, get some clearances. Just trying to boost our income there per turn. We could have built the college this turn, but I figured we kind of needed to spend the money elsewhere. I'll pay Poland and Lithuania for a trade agreement. Now, they're asking for 600, so I hope we make that money back. And we got lucky. Sweden did not want a chunk out of us yet.
Your nation is poor, as your economy is...
I wouldn't say poor, but alright. That's kind of rude. Alright, let's merge over here, folks. And our first attack begins. Ubo, Finland. This is it, folks. Our first battle as the mighty Russian Empire. I am going to go in for a good old-fashioned attack. I typically would stay back and let the enemy attack us, but we'll give them a chance to surrender. They have accepted! Oh, do you think we're going to let them go without a fight, though? I don't think so, guys. We need to show the Swedish not to mess with us. Not the most gentlemanly thing to do, but we are going to engage the Swedes here and show them once and for all that Finland belongs to Russia. Deployment is complete here. I'm actually going to be taking 2 of these cannons with me. One of them I am leaving behind. Look at the beautiful, just visage of our men. They just look amazing here, ready to fight. You know, just like standard Western infantry, of course, except fighting for the Tsarina herself. I can't wait to get into this, folks. I'm sure you can either. Let's see how things go here and get the battle started. Now, we are on the offensive. We need to be prepared for that. So I am going to grab a clump here of our troops. And we're simply going to move them over here into the tree line. I'd like to get over here where these walls are, but I don't think we're going to be able to force the enemy into a battle. So let's try things a little at a time. We'll, of course, keep the general back. And now that I know they're this close, I am going to unlimber the artillery here, too, and continue to try and weaken them with artillery fire. They've got plenty of artillery fire of their own, so this is not going to be a one-way battle, I can promise you that. That general is getting out way too close to the front of his men. Oh, it's just a grenadier regiment, never mind. Good shooting, boys. Good shooting. It looks like we even killed a group of their artillery. A perfect hit, guys, by our Russian cannons. I've never seen this, but we are knocking their artillery out, and we just hit their enemy general, Grels Okshestrina, with a cannonball. It's going pretty nice so far, I can say that. We've got our men approaching the front lines. Just trying to get into that forest cover. I don't know how much cover it's actually going to provide us, but it's a start, boys. It is a start. I hate to be the army attacking, but sometimes you have to be the army attacking. What can I say? We don't have much. Oh, yeah, we do in terms of cav. I'm going to keep the cav over there. I just want to start opening fire here on the enemy so that they're engaged with us and not focused on our cavalry. Fire! For the Tsar! The Tsarina, excuse me, the Tsarina! Catherine is our glorious leader. We'll do everything for her, my friends. And this is the start. Show the enemy we mean business over here. You simply can't raise your sword against this arena. That's the word I was looking for, and expect to get away with your life. That's not going to happen here. So we're rushing through with our cavalry, our Cossacks, as well as our Hussars. Let's put these boys down once and for all. Look at that, the Grenadier Regiment. I have to give it to the Swedes. They're very brave here in trying to stop us, but it's not going to happen. How's it going over here on this side, folks? Looking pretty good. Let's get this regiment of foot to also do some damage. I'm going to try to get extra close with this gun, with this one. Come on, boys. I want to make sure we're up on their level. And these are Lata infantry, so these are light foot infantry. They're used to fighting us from afar. We are not going to let them do that. Let's engage right here. Come on, boys. Steady in. got some pretty good shots. As you can see, quite a few of our men dropping there. Streliet. 136 out of 150. Pretty good shots there. They already got 21 of our men just in those few seconds. So they are definitely light foot. But I'm hoping that up at this range, they will collapse with some good old volleys. Streliet! Yes! There we go, guys. We're seeing some action there. And even our cavalry are doing a great job with their carabineers. Let's keep on moving. We've still got some enemy infantry engaging, of course, but we can shut this down pretty quickly. I don't think I need to run them down and kill them that way. I think we've done enough damage to them as is. Although, I think that Tsarina might say different. What do you guys think? Do you think Catherine would actually want us to wipe them out or let them go? It's probably the more gentlemanly / European approach to, of course, let them go, but they declared war on us first. I want to make sure they understand, well, unfortunately, the consequences of their actions here. Yes! Alright, we're going to stop shooting, otherwise we're going to end up hitting our own cavalry. Let's focus over here on the infantry regiment. Never mind. We're going to be running them down. We've only got one enemy regiment that was smart enough, the light foot, to go over here and get behind the wall. The best thing to do in a situation like this is charge. Alright, let's get our cavalry out of here. I don't want them getting hurt anymore. Wow. Kill them, boys. Don't let them pass. Don't let them escape. I think we're also breaking that line of infantry. We're still not breaking this one, though. So we're going to go over to the infantry regiment, and let's see how the close combat is going over here against the Swedish. Good work, boys. Send them running. Ura! And yes, you would say ura even in the Tsar's army. Ura was just pretty much hoorah. Not just the Soviets. Oh, I just saw one of our guys bayonet an enemy to death. And now we're going to get behind the wall. Now we are behind the wall. Make sure that's a quick move there. Fire down on them, boys. I don't even want to risk our cavalry in an attack like this. We're going to have to get up here to be effective. Streliet! Oh, baby. They're already gonna break and run. Who wouldn't after a volley like that? There we go, guys. That has to be the core of the Swedish force and a heroic victory. Our new general needs a heroic victory since our older general, with a lot more skill, died in battle. So Count Zakhar Chernikov. This guy is, of course, a count. He's a noble under the Tsarina. But it's always good to see a guy like this, an important fellow like this, winning important victories. So I think I'm going to keep things as they are. I am going to repair the military governor's barracks because, let's face it, now that we're at war with Sweden, this is going to have to be our new base of operations. To the units where we can get some additional forces, I'm immediately going to go for that. Quite a lot of our men need to be reinforced after that fight. It wasn't an easy one, despite outnumbering the enemy. So just kind of reinforcing who we can with the money we have, and then we will end this turn. We're also on the way to glorious Dagestan. I'm not sure what it's going to bring us in terms of resources, but what I know is we need to take it before the Ottomans take it, because they've got their eyes on it as well. And let's keep heading east. Okay, we're not going to go there yet, but we're going to get here right on the border. And as you can see, we're not taking a huge force with us. This is not a huge force of soldiers. They better know what they're doing. We do have Alexander Suvorov, who is an incredible general here, and I'm hoping just his ability is going to be sufficient. So let's take our ship. I might even leave here, but no, for now we'll just keep him as a support ship and hope for the best. Well, folks, we're going to end our turn here. I hope you guys have enjoyed this first episode of our campaign, and I really do hope you want to see more. You know, I hate to be a pain in the ass, but the fact is, these campaigns take a lot of time with editing, you know, just making the video in general, coming up with what I'm going to say and the ideas that I'm going to put forward. So if you want to see this campaign continue, you got to hit that like button. I think we need a minimum of like 40 likes per campaign video before we move on to anything else. So thank you so much for understanding, and I'll catch you in the next one. All glory to the Tsarina Catherine, also Yekaterina. Take care, my friends.